Thank you guys again for joining me. My name is Madar from Food and Fragrances. I just want to say welcome back to the channel, and we're going to continue. I think the first video that I posted for the 10 fragrances that I chose for fall and autumn, which will link right up here, so make sure you guys click that and view that first. That was a hit, so why not do another 10 fragrances? These are 10 scents that I personally chose from my personal collection to share with you guys. I'll have a couple of links down below. These are merchants that I've used in the past before, so they're nice, they're well trusted, and if I have any discount codes along the way, you're more than welcome to use them. It does help the channel grow, so please stay tuned. We're gonna go through our list of 10 fragrances again that I'm choosing for the fall and autumn season. I'll be back and we'll catch you there. Again, my name is Madar from Food and Fragrances. This is part two. We're gonna hit fall and autumn fragrances, do a second 10 list, and I hope you guys enjoy it again. Please let me know down below your comments, your suggestions for 10 fragrances that you prefer for the fall and autumn season, or whatever your top tiers are. And I guess we'll kick it off with bottle number one. Cool? All right, so the first bottle that we're going with is from the house of Zaharoff, and that is Signature Aurum. Now, Signature Aurum is a gourmand-like fragrance. There's wonderful spices in this fragrance. You get some cinnamon, you get some saffron, you get some beautiful smoke, some beautiful muskiness and some sweetness, and that sweetness comes from the honey. Now the honey is very nice, very smooth, very well blended, and it doesn't overstep its boundaries like a couple of fragrances that I have in my collection, Zoologist B. This is more gourmand-like, more patisserie-like. There's an ease of wear with this, like a lot of Zaharoff fragrances, but there's wonderful backbone to this fragrance. It has great notes in here, it has great longevity, and on top of that, it resembles a little bit of a dessert that I'm very, very favorable to, which is baklava. So, if you're somebody who likes a fragrance that is in the honey category, that feels a little bit more gourmand without being sickly, this I think would be the perfect fragrance for you to check out. Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. There's a little bit of roastedness with this that kind of gives it a little bit of nuttiness, but very, very easy to wear, very, very friendly. So Signature Aurum is bottle number one. Let's move on to number two. Now, number two comes in from, again, one of my favorite houses in my collection. It is Boadicea The Victorious Dragon. Now, this is a different type of fragrance. I understand that the pricing for Boadicea is up there, and especially the Zodiac line. Number one, let's just throw this out the out the way. The bottle is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But what makes this fragrance super, super awesome is how smooth it is, how elegant it is, and how long it lasts. Not joking with you, I got more than 12 hours on skin with this fragrance. And even though you have to dig a little bit to get it, when heat hits it, it does flourish a little bit and it does get a little bit creamy and a little bit chocolatey, especially in the late dry down. However, when you first apply this, you get this wonderful fruity-like note to it, mixed in with amber, mixed in with a vanillic-like approach. It's actually super wonderful and super elegant. It's not overly sweet, very mature, develops really, really well, almost to the sense that it has a type of booziness to it without it really being too boozy. I think this is a wonderful fragrance. And again, even though the Zodiac line is expensive and people will always say, you know, I don't know about the value of this, I don't know about the value of that. If you have the opportunity to check out a fragrance like this, do what I did. Get a partial. You don't have to get a full bottle until you love it. If you can, get a sample, right? Enjoy it. See how you like it. And if it resonates with you, it resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, then on to the next one. The game is like that. There's so many options. But in my opinion, I'm really, really enjoying the elegancy of Dragon. I think for me, if I were to wear this fragrance, this would be something I would dress up, hands down. I'd have to save it for a special occasion, in my opinion. I wouldn't necessarily casually wear this juice. I think there would be some purpose behind wearing this juice. So super unisex, in my opinion as well. Very, very beautiful, very, very velvety, especially on the dry down. Definitely something worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of the Zodiac line, if you're a fan of Boadicea. It's more refined in my opinion and definitely worth considering taking a look at. We'll move on to the next one. Now, this third fragrance is from a house that I'm not necessarily too familiar with. It is Stephane Humbert Lucas, or Stephen Humbert Lucas. It is 2022 generation. Now, number one, with this house, I do love the bottle designs. I think the bottle designs are phenomenal. Phenomenal. The weight of this cap is exactly what I would love to see on a Boadicea bottle. That's for another day. It snaps on really, really nicely, really securely. Anyways, we're not reviewing the bottle. We're going to review the scent. What I love about this is there's resinous qualities to this fragrance while keeping it green and fresh and almost fougere-like. It kind of has a cross between spicy, oud, and fougere. I feel like it's very, again, this is pour homme, so it's very, very masculine. It's very wonderful. I think the spices are blended really well. I think the oud is not barnyard. It's not animalic whatsoever. It's really woody, but the woody doesn't go into the context of it being a dry wood. It's a very, very wearable, very impressive. That's what I'd kind of put on this. And its price proposition, you won't believe me when I say it, it is one of the best bang for your bucks on this list. I think, again, I'll post some of the prices maybe, but realistically for the scent quality that you get with this and the price that you pay for this, 50 ml, maybe the downside, but I think it's actually super, super wonderful. Again, you're getting something that's a little bit spicy. It'll have that mix in there. It'll be something a little bit woody, but you also get a little bit of that greenness. I think there's a mint in here that really shines nice and well. That gives it that burst of freshness. Really top tier. Something that you can wear every day, something that you could easily make a signature scent. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can enjoy it casually. Really versatile scent. Definitely something worth checking out, which makes me want to go and check out the rest of it, especially because the bottle designs are just damn impressive. So that is Stephane Humbert Lucas's 2022 generation. We'll move on to the next one. Now, the fourth bottle in this list is from a house that I'm really familiar with and I do enjoy and love. No bias because, again, there are some that has made the list and some that have not. But this one to me, I think is very outstanding because it resonates with me and it helped me discover what this note really was in perfumery. And this is from the house of Theodoros, Kalotinis, and this is Leather Iris. Now, when you hear the name of the fragrance, that's exactly what it is. It's Leather Iris. Leather will come in, it'll be very soft, it'll be very clean, it'll feel like a nice tame leather. It won't be dark, it won't be ashy, it won't be anything out of norm, tarry or anything like that. It'll be very wearable. But the note that really sang to me and made me discover, okay, this is what iris is the iris. The iris is done really well in here. It's a really contrasting style with the leather and the iris. It's leather with a little bit of floral, with a little bit of lightness, but still with a little bit of oomph and backbone. This is a little bit heavier, very situational fragrance. In my opinion, if I was to categorize this fragrance, it would be very badass. And with it being cooler outside, the weather would definitely leave a wonderful scent trail with it. It's very elegant in my opinion. It's very, again, badass. I think it's a fragrance that's not really the easiest to wear, but if you can pull it off with your wardrobe choices, I think you're looking at something that would be a hit, that would be a complementary factor to what you're wearing and the style that you're going with for the night. Something I'd probably say for evening wear, for when I'm going out, when I'm dressing it up a little bit and dressing up in the sense of how you would stylize this with maybe a little bit of a leather jacket, a little bit more edge, a little bit more funk and attitude with your wardrobe. I think that would be the way to go. And on top of that, I do still think this leans very unisex, although maybe a little bit more masculine, but still, I could easily see a woman pull this off if they're dressed for the type of occasion that this calls for. We'll move on to the next one. Now, the next fragrance that we're going to talk about, which is number 5, is from the house of Scents of Wood, and this is Pralines and Maple. This house is awesome. Now, the thing that I like about this is it's not loud in your face fragrances. Pralines and maple might be the exception a little bit, but the way that it dries down is very elegant, very beautiful, very gourmand-esque, but again, not in the sense that it's overstepping its boundaries and becoming sickly sweet. At first spray, it might be something that might feel like a lot, but once you let it dry down, the scent is delicious. It's something that I find very seductive if you're in a setting where you're trying to draw people in close to you, or you have that special somebody that will be spending significant periods of time close to you. This would be a fragrance that would be mouth-wateringly good. As you can tell, pralines and maple, you're expecting something nutty, you're expecting something maple, like maple syrup. It's very beautiful in that nature, but it's not out of control in that sense. It's very tamed in with a beautiful woody background, hence Scents of Wood, that is very controlled in the stylistic sense. It's very sexy, very seductive. I couldn't recommend this more. To be honest, out of all the Scents of Wood bottles that I've had, to me, this is something that I think outshines the collection. I personally like it more than Plum and Cognac. However, Plum and Cognac is something that is a staple with the brand, but for me, Pralines and Maple hits the mark. Beautiful, great depth, great depth on this. This, think about outdoors, fireplace, cozying up with somebody special. You don't necessarily have to dress this up or down. A nice maybe turtleneck, a sweater or something like that would let this fragrance do its thing and potentially be a wonderful compliment getter or closer for the night. All right, so we'll move on to our next fragrance. Now, the sixth fragrance that we're going to go with is from the house of Scentologia, and this is Soli.Flore. Now, Soli.Flore is more feminine dominant than masculine. However, I do feel that it is very unisex. To me, this is a brighter fragrance, a more uplifting fragrance, a great mood enhancing fragrance. You're looking at something that will be very well suited for daytime wear. It's beautifully floral. There's a beautiful sweetness with in here regarding the floral nature, regarding the components of a wonderful raspberry. There's elements of powdery. There's elements of woodiness. This is, again, a very uplifting fragrance. This I wouldn't overspray whatsoever. There is elements of sweetness in here that could potentially be a little bit cloying. So just be careful with this. I think with this one, I'd probably go 2 to 3 sprays. This, and again, the atomizer, look at that mist, is wonderful. It's a beautiful atomizer. I love this brand. I think what they do is they do some great stuff. Some other bottles that I've tested out with them that I really like. But to me, Soli.Flore, I think, really takes it steps and bounds above. To me, it's very beautiful, very inviting, very conversational, social. This is a great fragrance that will set the mood right, and you can dress this however you want. It's very versatile like that. I just think it's a very bright, sunny fragrance that is well suited for the daytime. We'll move on to the next one. So we'll take a little bit of an intermission. What sucks is when you do fragrance reviews and you spray the fragrance in the air like that, sometimes the particles, they get kind of in your mouth because you're talking at the same time, and it sucks. If you think fragrance is supposed to taste good, it does not. If you think fragrance is supposed to taste like alcohol, it does not. It tastes like shit. Intermission done. All right, so the eighth fragrance that we're gonna go with today is from the house of PureDistance, and this is PureDistance Black. Now, when we're talking about PureDistance, we're talking about elevated perfumery. This to me is on the same level of Boadicea, Henry Jacques, stuff like that. Very, very, very beautiful, seductive, sexy, inviting, spiced well, beautiful floral components in here. I think the composition of this fragrance is done very well balanced. It's a nighttime cooler based fragrance. I think when you talk about fragrances of this nature, this is purposeful. This is I've already secured the relationships that I need to secure. We're just out to have a good time and smell top of the line. That's what PureDistance Black kind of sits with me. I think the floral components, the rose, is done extremely well, not overtly sweet, beautifully spiced, much along the lines of a Clive Christian X type of fragrance, but not really, done in its own lane. Again, I really want to intensively use the word seductive and sexy. Nighttime fragrance, going out on a date, hands down. Want to smell top of the top. Nobody's going to smell anywhere close to you. I think this is the fragrance that you choose and go with. This kind of sets you above a lot of people in the fragrance journey. You're talking about boy to man with this. Could be very unisex because, again, that type of composition is a very unisex composition, but I'd say it kind of leans a little bit towards the masculine side. PureDistance Black is, in my opinion, a unmissable fragrance. It's definitely something you should get your nose on, and not too many people know about the house. So I could gatekeep this, but I'm giving you guys the exclusive. We'll be back with the next one. We're back, and I don't do this on purpose. It just comes out. But speaking of exclusives, we're talking about Chanel. Misia. Now, this is a great fragrance. I really love the Chanel line. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's pretty much the whole entire collection. It's pretty bad. But regardless, Misia I love. I think, oh, it's so good. It's really good. When you think about Chanel, there's this class to it. There's this perfection in a lane that they achieve so well, that aldehyde feel. But the sweetness with the aldehydes is so clean. When you wear something like this and it catches a scent trail in a cooler environment, this is something that will turn heads. This is something that will say, okay, this person knows what they're doing. There's nobody that can come close to what they're doing scent wise. It's that good, in my opinion. I definitely think you guys should get your nose on this. You're thinking aldehyde, you're thinking clean, you're thinking light, you're thinking airy, you're thinking sweet. The sweetness, a little bit of a spiced sweetness on here. It's really done well and perfectly, in my opinion. Out of all the Chanels that I've smelled, I think this one in store was something that captivated me. I'm gonna spray a little bit on my skin because I do kind of like this. Not kinda, I do. I do like this. It is in my collection for a reason. Oh, that's so wonderful. It's so elegant. Okay. Versatility off the charts. You can You can wear this at any point. This does not lean overtly powdery. This does not lean overtly feminine. Highly, highly, highly unisex. This is something that'll stay on your skin and feel wonderful. It's not sticky, it's not dense, it's very light, it's very airy, hence the Chanel aldehydes that it comes with. It really does kind of match the type of juice that's in here, like the color of the juice. That's kind of the feel with the smell that I get. But just absolutely wonderful. This is something you can wear universal. You can dress this up, you can dress this down. You can wear this in the day, you can wear this in the night. Super, super versatile. Nobody's gonna complain when you wear this. This is very scent friendly. This is very potential compliment getting if you're into that type of stuff. To me, when I wear this, I feel happy. I feel great. I feel well put together. I feel fresh. I feel clean. And when a fragrance makes you do that, it's doing its thing. It's doing it right. In my opinion, one of the better ones from the Les Exclusifs line from Chanel. Give this one a try. Let me know what you think. We'll move on to the ninth one. And from the ninth wonder of the world, we bring you Fragrance du Bois, Oud Noir Intense. Now, Oud Noir Intense, to really beautifully put this, is Tom Ford Oud Wood on steroids. It's wonderfully woody. It's wonderfully put together. Very luxurious and very smooth. I remember I wore this to a play that my wife invited me to for her school because she's a teacher. And I was just like, you know what? I want something that will be hum, calm, but still there in the air. Beautifully, beautiful night. It was nice and cool. I went with this Oud Noir Intense. Woody, oud, very, very distinct oud, but not barnyard, not animalic, not like that. Very woody, very deep, very rich. The way Fragrance du Bois does their oud, it's very luxurious. There's a element of silkiness with this. It's very well rounded. In my opinion, if you're into Tom Ford Noir and you're not happy with maybe the roughness, the syntheticness of it, and you want something a little bit more elevated, a little bit more classy, a little bit more, in my opinion, I think almost the final form of that DNA, this is the one that I'd go for. This one was a full bottle at a point. We're making dents in this. So, Oud Noir Intense is super sexy, super well put together, very masculine in my opinion. And again, if the people you're around are a fan of woodier ouds, this is the one that you rock and people will be very happy with your presence. So this is Oud Noir Intense from Fragrance du Bois. We'll move on to the last but not least. Now, the last fragrance we're going to talk about today is from the house of Mdci, and this is Cuir Cavalier. Now, what I love about this fragrance is the element of citrus burst that you get from the first spray, mixed in with the florals, mixed in florals, you're talking about white and red florals mixed in with a leather saffron based fragrance. It's very sexy. It's very well put together. Unlike the fourth fragrance that we covered, Leather Iris, this one to me is a lot more unisex and a lot more wearable. It's very, very well done. The smoothness of Mdci is really up there in my opinion. Their perfumery is really good. I just love the way that this fragrance sits and develops on skin. You get a little bit of white honey with this. You get a little bit of saffron. There's vanilla, there's tonka bean, there's musks. I really do enjoy this fragrance quite a bit. I would say top two in the Mdci line for sure for me. I think Chypre Palatine is number one, and I think Cuir Cavalier for me is number two. This is something you definitely dress up, date night, sexy, nighttime. It's a fragrance that I think you could probably get away with midday wearing as well. I wouldn't wake up and spray this if I was going out and running errands. This one I'd kind of leave to it being a little bit more special, but it's a wonderful, lovely fragrance for you to get to know and get to wear And I think the most important part is keep in your collection. I hate the whole buying and selling trash. I'm not a fan of it. If you have fragrances in your collection, test them out so you know that they are for you. Cool? So I'm going to put this down, then we're going to finish this up. So when it comes to releasing these 10 fragrances in a list video, I do want to emphasize you don't have to get all 10. You don't have to try all 10. Whatever resonates and sits with you, by all means, maybe pick them out, see what you like, and go with that there. Like I said in the number 10th slot, buying and selling to me is a waste. You're either going to take a hit on the price that you sell your fragrance for compared to what you bought it for, or it's just going to be more troublesome where you're just moving out of rotation and you're just not genuinely happy with the fragrances in your collection. I understand that I showcase bottles that are over a certain price point. I totally get that. In my opinion, if the price point is not to your liking, for any reason whatsoever, whether it be the perfumer is not good, the house is not good, maybe it doesn't resonate with you, maybe there's something cheaper, it's your world. You live in it. You buy what you feel comfortable with, but just make sure you test it and love it and wear it, right? For me personally, I love the fragrances that I've accumulated in my collection. I enjoy wearing them. Yes, it is a higher price point for a good portion of them, but I enjoy the quality and I enjoy the joy that it brings me when I wear the fragrances. I don't do it to stunt. I don't do it to brag or put it out in anybody's faces. The wonderful fact of being in this fragrance culture is there's so much selection. So in the event that you're concerned about a certain price point or fragrances that I showcase, I understand, I get it. I'll do my best to showcase inexpensive options and I'll do my best to showcase options that are more suited towards me because I'm showcasing you things from my personal collection. I don't get too many free bottles. I have started getting a couple, but that doesn't influence my decision because at the end of the day, I keep what I like and what I like, I use. So with that being said, I always say be very, very careful with managing what you do. Don't overbuy, don't make mistakes with getting same types of fragrances in the same category and then you just don't know what to wear and one sits and it's just a waste. Diversify your collection, minimize your collection, enjoy your collection, wear your collection, and love your collection. That's all that I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of the fall autumn list. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I wish you guys the best. Until next video, have a great one, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out. Bye.